Focus. You want to be the best. You want to worship Allah. You want success in this dunya. You want success in the akhirah. Don't waste your energy about everything else. Focus on Him and Him only.
Waking up in the morning is like the most peaceful time. The world is quiet, everyone is sleeping, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends to the lowest heaven to hear you. This is my most productive time, the time for deep focus, but also the time to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is like my most connected ibadah. Since I read the book The Productive Muslim by Muhammad Faris, I've been learning about circadian rhythms, which is like your biological clock, and sleep cycles, and it has changed the way I sleep and function in general. People have different biological clocks, varying from extreme morning persons like me and also extreme night owls like people that function at 1 or 2 a.m. And while I think there is like this big spectrum, as Muslims we should aim to become early birds unless you're like a mom or you have night shifts, because the barakah lies in the morning and not in the evening. Why have an evening routine and intentions? Well, Muhammad Faris, the author of the book The Productive Muslim, who I will quote often throughout this video, said this: "From a spiritual point of view, a Muslim should approach sleep as a ritual that they perform each night, just like salah or any other act of worship. This means that you need to think of your intention for sleep, perform certain actions prior to sleep, and perform certain actions after waking up. That means you do your evening zikrs, you recite the Quran, you forgive and remove any grudges from your heart and empty your heart. You recite the evening zikrs, read Surah Mulk. I haven't yet added reciting Surah Mulk on my list because I am still working on other surahs. For socials, when you're on your phone, you are exposed to blue light and it disturbs your melatonin. It's a key hormone that tells your body it's night and helps you to make you sleepy. So if you're on your phone all the time and exposed to this light, it will disturb your sleep and not tell your body, well, it's time for sleep. That's why it's better to do nothing on your phone and up to the traditional old school things like reading, journaling, but on paper, and just doing other activities that doesn't require your phone. For now, I read a book, I journal, and then at the end of the day, I will do my evening zikrs, which include reciting 33 times Subhanallah, 33 times Alhamdulillah, 34 times Allahu Akbar. Then I also recite 3 times Surah Ikhlas, Falaq and Nas. I use some duas on my dua book collection, which I have collected through various media and spectrums, from videos, from Instagram, from Pinterest, and I recite the last 2 verses of Surah Baqarah from my Hisnul Muslim. Yet my evening routine follows the 3-2-1 method. I don't eat 3 hours before bed. I reduce drinking 2 hours before bed, and I don't go on my phone, especially my socials, 1 hour before bed. I don't eat anything spicy, sugary, caffeinated, or heavy. If I want to eat something because I'm very hungry, then I eat something super light like soup or oatmeal. The Prophet ﷺ said, one of the ailments of the body and the heart is food. We shouldn't overfill our stomach, but keep it in a 1/3 ratio. 1/3 food, 1/3 air, and 1/3 for liquid. If you eat too much, or if you eat heavy or spicy in the evening, you will get lazy and tired, and because your body needs to digest it, and it will harm your sleep. I only drink little before I go to bed, otherwise I have to use the restroom a lot and it will disturb my sleep, as I have to wake up, then I have to look on my phone, then I get exposed to the light and all of these things. So avoid drinking too much in the evening. I go to bed around 22:40 and I wake up around 3:10. That means I have slept 4.5 hours and completed 3 sleep cycles. I bought an alarm clock to avoid going on my phone and scrolling. It's been a game changer. I used to check other things and get distracted prior to the alarm clock. That's why going old school sometimes is the best way to stay focused. In general, in total, I have 6 hours of sleep, but I also want to change it and push my sleeping times to 9-10 so that I can wake up at 3:10 again and have 6 hours completed, and then in total 7.5 hours. And where the last 1.5 hours comes on, you will hear later on. Another thing to remember is not to go to bed in a state of anger, emotional distress, or when you have to resolve a conflict. Otherwise, it will keep your head occupied and disturb your sleep, make sure to sleep with wudu. I mostly still have it from Isha, yet if somehow I have to break my wudu, I redo it because these body parts will illuminate Nur on the day of judgment. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Purify these bodies and Allah will purify you." Whenever a slave spends his night in a state of purification, an angel spends his night within his slaves, and he does not turn over during the night except that the angel says, "O Allah, forgive your slave, for he went to sleep in a state of purification." Plus, it's also a preparation for death. Then if you die on that very night, you will die with faith. And there's also a snippet from Angels of Present, which actually taught me in 2020 that there are angels that protect you while you sleep, and it flabbergasted my mind. Once I wake up, I do wudu and shower to get awakened and ready to pray. Before that, I brain dump my thoughts, pray tahajjud, and do the morning zikr.
Early in the day, right around waking, you need a lot of light, a lot of photons, a lot of light energy.
Because shaitan knows 3 times when we sleep. The first one is when we go to bed, the second one when we enjoy, and the third one when we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you wake up, the first note is on tight, the second is on tight when you do wudu, and the last one is on tight when you pray. So don't go back to bed once you're turned off the alarm, otherwise shaitan wins.
If you care about something, you have to do tahajjud. Waking up in tahajjud will cause your heart to change. Your heart will align with the orbit of what Allah wants for you. He will either redirect you to what He wants to give you. He'll cure your heart of it. Over time, you will come to love what Allah wants you to love. You'll remain making that dua, and Allah will give the power of tahajjud.
The zikr goes as follows. Alhamdulillahi allazi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. All praises to Allah who gave us life after having taken it from us and until amidst the final resurrection. So when you wake up, say this and you are protected.
What I always tell people is going to make or break the quality of your salah, the quality of your prayer, is what you do before and after the prayer. Just like with anything else, it goes back to the preparation. And so if you're someone that just jumps into prayer without any preparation, or even if you're on your way to the masjid and you're listening to the radio, taking phone calls, whatever it is, there's such a difference between a person that takes the time to declutter all that's in the mind and get themselves ready than someone who just tries to jump between this and that, particularly when it comes to their prayers. Likewise, when it comes to the prayer, the best way to maintain a daily wird, which is a regimen of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best way to maintain a daily recitation of the Quran of however many pages it is, or some sort of regimen of dua, of supplication, is to connect it to your prayer. So I'm going to do 2 pages of Quran before each prayer, 2 pages after. That would cause me to finish a juz every day. Or I'll do 1 page of Quran per prayer. Or I'll do half a page. Or I'll finish this set of remembrances.
After Fajr, I stay awake until 6:30. It's crucial to stay awake until sunrise. There are 2 times in which the angels come and record, and it's at Asr time and at Fajr time. Meanwhile, I recite the Quran, then go on to do Quranic journaling, and then usually 6:30 comes around and I go back to bed for another 1.5 hour or 1 sleep cycle, which will make a total of 6 hours. While reciting and journaling, I use this egg timer as a way to focus and not get distracted from my phone. I've been waking up for Fajr for 9 years now. I wasn't always an early bird until my father, who prayed Fajr every time, encouraged me to try it out one day in 9th grade. For me, I cannot trade Fajr and Tahajjud time anymore. It's the best time. I became a better student. I became better reciting and memorizing the Quran. I just feel like I can get so many things done. And once it is like 12 p.m., I got most of my stuff done when I'm really productive and don't get distracted. Sometimes I do get distracted. Sometimes I am lazy, but I tried then to go for the bare minimum. But Fajr and Tahajjud time is like my most crucial time, and without that, I would not accomplish most of what I actually set out to do. So definitely give it a try. Again, as Muslims, I think we should all become early birds. So Jazakallahu khairan for watching my video, and see you in my next video, inshallah.